don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Sunday, November 9th, 2025. I don't know where you're at, but in my neck of the woods, white stuff is falling from the sky, and I just have to tell you, that has me in such a bad mood. Oh, man, I tell you, at least we made it past Halloween for snow. I'll tell you, since I lived in Winchester, I think every year since I've lived in Winchester, I myself personally have seen it snow, even just if a little bit, on or before October 31st. I think this is the first year since about 2012. Maybe my first year in Winchester was 2010. So I think 2012 was the first year I noticed it was snowing before Halloween. I think this is the first year since before 2012 that it's waited till after Halloween to snow. So I guess that's something to be happy for. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we've had a weekend. It's been a pretty restful weekend, but that doesn't mean that we haven't been doing things. It's been restful with a lot of information coming in. We've been doing some work and some research and really getting it. We are 53 days away from January 1st, which means there's shorter days between now and Thanksgiving and shorter days between now and Christmas. So if that affects you, go to it. That being said, 53 days until January 1st. The reason that's a thing is that's when the 2026 election cycle officially will kick off. And so we have that to be looking ahead to. And I'm anxiously, I'm not awaiting it, but we are anxiously waiting for it to happen. It's going to be a crazy election cycle, this 2026 midterm election. It's going to be wild. For some people, that election process has already started. Some of those people, it started. Some of those people, it's started legally in the correct way. Some people, we've got some questions about, so we'll have to see. Just depends. We'll be talking about that a little bit tonight. And we've got a lot of other things going on. I think right before I came on the air, I think I saw a a message that said that the Senate reaches a deal on ending the shutdown. Yay! Isn't that amazing? Or boo, just depends on which way you're looking at it from. Senators have reached a deal to end the government's shutdown. The broad framework for an agreement, which was negotiated in part by Senators Angus King and Janine Shaleen, what a name, Maggie Hasan, as well as GOP senators, has more than enough members of Senate Democratic Caucus to advance, according to two people granted anonymity to disclose the terms. Wow, wow, wow. The deal, said one of the people, was brokered between Democratic negotiators, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, and the White House. Members of the Appropriations Committee were also closely involved and helped negotiate the terms. What do you think about that? That's amazing. Whatever. We'll look at that and talk more about that maybe later in the week. We'll see what happens. Nothing happens until it happens. We'll wait to see. As part of the deal, Democratic negotiators agreed to ensure at least 8 members from their caucus would vote yes on procedural motions to advance the government funding package. That would provide certainty that the 60-vote procedural threshold is consistently met until final passage, where only a simple majority is then required. The Senate is poised to vote later Sunday night to advance the House-passed stopgap, which will later become the vehicle for a larger funding deal. Doesn't that sound great? Larger funding deal. Yay. Notice the sarcasm in all of this. Still needs to pass the House before government can reopen. The breakthrough follows weeks of closed-door negotiations, not only among bipartisan group of rank-and-file senators, but also Thune, and according to one of the people granted anonymity to share private conversations, President Donald Trump. The Sunday vote would pave the way for consideration later this week of a legislative package that would fund the Department of Agriculture and the FDA, the Department of Veterans Affairs and Military Construction Projects, and the operations of Congress for the full fiscal year. The product of months of bipartisan, bicameral negotiations between top appropriators. I also think it's highly significant that we'll have a 3-year-long appropriations bill attached. Senator Appropriations Chair Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, said Monday night. Monday night? It's not Monday yet. When did she say this? She said this tomorrow? She said this tomorrow night, I think, or maybe last Monday. I don't know. It doesn't say. All other agencies would be funded through January 30th, according to the text of the continuing resolution released Sunday. So that's so weird that said Monday night. Maybe they meant Sunday night. As a part of Democrats' agreement to end the shutdown, Thune is promising Senate Democrats a vote in the mid-December to extend Affordable Care Act. Go figure. That's still around and still kicking. Subsidies that are due to expire at the end of the year without congressional action. Democrats will also get to determine what extension bill receives that vote. The government opening agreement guarantees that federal employees laid off during the shutdown are rehired and gives federal employees back pay. It also would require agencies to give written notice to Congress about the withdrawal of so-called reduction in force notices issued during the funding lapse, plus provide the amount of back pay owed. It would as well prevent some future firings with blanket prohibition on reductions in force in any department or agency until at least the end of the date continuing resolution, which would be January 30th, 2026. Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia, who is involved in negotiations over the FIR language, said in a statement shortly after the deal was announced that he would support it. I have long said that to earn my vote, we need to be on the path towards fixing Republicans' health care mess and to protect the federal workforce, Kaine said. Many progressives in the Senate, along with larger number of House Democrats, including Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, think that short of a deal to enact extensions on the ACA tax credits is insufficient. We will not support the spending legislation, of course, because nothing's ever progressive enough. And a lot of other nonsense down through there. So, yeah, we'll look at that and talk maybe about that more later in the week. I've not really said much about it. It is what it is. Government sucks. Both sides, they're both horrible, and it is what it is. We have bigger local fish to fry, though, because as we say here frequently, we know that we are affected more on a day-to-day basis by what goes on local and at the state level, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So before we get started and get crazy in with the big meat of the show, please smash that like button and give us your love. We would appreciate that. Smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. It does not cost you anything. If you want to communicate with us, do so over on the right-hand side of the show. If you're here in the future via the replay button, comment down below, and above all else, share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about what's going on with this upcoming election and some crazy rumors that are happening and coming out of Madison County. So in order to do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring on our contributing correspondent, Dr. Katherin Callahan, to talk to us about what's happening in Madison County. Whoops, what's happening here? Now, there we go.
Well, like I haven't been on forever, so this is going to be a good show.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Right? So there's lots to talk about. I know a lot of people from Madison County are watching tonight, and I want to tell Madison County people, everyone understands that in Madison County, when we pick a new commissioner, everybody gets a shot at it. So everybody in the county votes for the commissioner, even though that commissioner is only going to represent a certain district.
Yeah.
So I want people to be encouraged. I want people to be involved. I don't know what the Democrat Party is going to do, but it looked like the commissioner seat in District 1 is going to be a hot sought after seat. Now that job pays $50,000 a year for you with full benefits for you to show up for 20 minutes twice a month. I would think with all of the demands that we are seeing in Madison County right now that we would see more people demanding that our commissioners show up for longer than 20 minutes. Sometimes we get lucky, it's a 30-minute meeting. But I mean, look at last month. Commissioner Richwine was off for the entire month, a paid vacation to go harvest instead of work for the taxpayers, and truly got paid for that. Now,
all right, wait, hold on. You're already trying to throw too much at it.
Right.
So let's back up here real quick. Hold on, no, back up.
The goal is
no, wait. Wait up. So District 1 in Madison County is what district? Where is that for people
District
who don't
1
know?
is kind of a weird, it is very weird how they have drawn the lines for people to understand. It includes Markville, Pendleton, Ingalls, part of LaPel. So it's a very weird kind of
I'm
line
pulling the map up here
that it covers.
Do you guys not have district maps anywhere? Like you can't go anywhere and see district maps?
Yeah, the district maps are up. I can just pull it for you.
Where are those at?
They are on the county website.
Okay.
So let me see here. I'll just,
if you can send me the link.
I post all that stuff. You see here. So this is who holds this seat right now, everybody, so that you know, is Olivia Pratt. So it will be that seat that will be up for grabs.
And of course, the reason that we believe that she's vacating that seat is she recently got engaged to a fellow elected commissioner, not from Madison County, but from Grant County. So we've got two elected officials, one who has to live in a district in Madison County to hold the seat, and one who has to live in a district in Grant County to hold a seat. And I'm sure that they could choose to live separately. I doubt they will. And I think, although I've asked the commissioner from Grant County, well, who's going to give up what? And he said, well, we haven't thought about that yet. It's almost certain that she will be vacating her seat to move north, and he'll keep his elected position, and she will be giving it up at the end of the year. That's almost guaranteed.
Now,
I could also see
is that some of that movement has already kind of taken place.
Sure. And now I could also see her moving, her moving, but staying there and trying to keep that under wraps and running so that she could win and allow the Republican Party to caucus. I've wondered if that would be some nonsense that they would pull.
Well, a lot of times, let me see if I send this to you. I can't really. I don't think that's a good one. I have a good one. Nicole usually has a good map. Maybe it's.
Oh, hold on. I think Kate might have done it. Oh, well, look at that. Kate is on the ball.
Oh, good. So I had pinned on my post all the seats that are open for 2026. So what did you say? 57 days till January 1?
53rd.
It's going to be here quicker than you know it. So for those people who are thinking of what you're going to do, the Democrats, it'll be interesting. Yeah, these maps are just strange on how they're laid out.
Okay, so it looks as if. Okay, so I'm going to try to blow this down here. I normally don't do that. Well, that's as far as we. All right, so Madison County is kind of a longer county. So here we got Madison County to the top, and this is District 3. So that's not where we're talking
That's
about. Then
Richwine.
we come down. That's Richwine. Then we come down here along the west side of the county and into the big chunk of Anderson, District 2, and that is Gardner.
It is Gardner. It's very weird because, Gardner lives right there at like 38 in Scatterfield, over there where that Office Depot used to be, the Walgreens. That's where he lives. And then he's supposed to be overseeing all this area over here. They kind of sometimes just redraw the maps when they feel like redrawing them. And then we're all kind of trying to figure out, well, we're all used to this. We're seeing it go on in the state. Madison County, it's a little Washington, D.C. ghetto is the best I can put it. It's the most corrupt thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So if you live in this District 1 area, some of you people who are watching, I guess the information released about Olivia Pratt started back in the summer. Some of us were not privileged to that until they announced on the social media world that she was getting engaged and that she would, she was engaged to a Grant County commissioner. So here we are. I had gotten word long ago that Jonathan Culp had already started walking the area over in Marklettville back in the summer when we kind of knew something was up. We weren't sure if she was just not running or if she was going to go after another seat, because remember, she was the clerk in 2020 when we had those disastrous lines.
Yeah.
And she was the clerk who blamed everybody else for why the lines were so disastrous. And it was right after that she was like, but it's not my fault. Let me blame Kelly Gaskell. Let me blame the commissioners. Let me blame all these people. So she left the clerk's office because she showed her incompetence, and somehow the community voted her into a commissioner seat. Now, I don't know what it takes for people to understand. Once an elected official shows you they're incompetent, believe them. They're not going to get more competent in another role.
You don't normally get better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to express that. And when people, and I don't care how she wants to swing it. You're the clerk. You're responsible for that. And anybody who doesn't know what happened in 2020 in Madison County, our lines were a wait time of anywhere from 6 hours to like 10 hours. It was all over the news. It was an embarrassing nightmare.
Okay, so District 1 is obviously here on the map. This is her district. This is what she's vacating. No, I mean, I can, but we lose, like, see what I'm saying? We don't. I really need to light. I mean, so basically District 1 is the southeastern corner of the county. It is the under Pendleton area, Markleville. Sounds like we're giving tornado warning. A portion of the east, southeast, northeast side of Anderson, Union, Chesterfield, and then right up there. So that's the district. And as Katherin said, hearing that she was going to vacate the seat, we've been kind of loosely talking about the fact that we've been hearing rumors that Jonathan Culp, and now we just spring that name out. For those of you that are like, Jonathan Culp, I know there's a whole bunch of Culps in government, and it's weird shit going on. Jonathan Culp is the young man who is currently a newbie Madison County Councilor. He ran for at-large seat in last year's election. So he ran in 2024 as a first-time candidate. He ran for county council at large. He ended up winning. He was one of 3 of the winning names, and he won a seat. And he was sworn in, and he began his first ever term as an elected official, first ever, in January of 2025. Now, for those of you that might have some time and not looking at a calendar, that was just 11 months ago. So that means he right now is 11 months and 9 days into his first ever term in his first ever elected office. And starting about 3 months ago, he started the process campaigning for another higher office that he wants to campaign hard for next year and hopefully win, so that he would then take that seat in January of 2027. And that's just insane, because what I would say is, if he wants to do that, he should resign his council seat and not hold that seat while he's running. But if he does that, no one should vote for him, because what he just did last year, he ran for an entire year saying, I want to work for you. I want to be here. I want to work for you. I want to be your voice. I want to be the person that communicates for you. I want to do a good job for you. And he made a promise to the citizens of Madison County. All citizens in Madison County voted for him because it was at large. So everybody voted for him. And he then won. The Madison County, for one reason or another, said, yeah, we trust you. We're going to give you the voice. We're going to give you the vote. We're going to put you in that seat to be our voice. And he's been in that chair for 11 months. And now he says, I don't want to serve my full term here. I want to go on and get paid big boy money in a big boy seat. And I want to vacate this seat. And so what he's doing is, no matter how he's acted on the council, he's already broken his promise to every voter in Madison County. And he lets you know that he's full of shit and he doesn't deserve the seat he's in, let alone he certainly doesn't deserve the commissioner seat. And this is something, even though this says District 1, every voter in Madison County votes for all 3 commissioners. So people up here in the very tip top of District 3, you have the option to vote. You will be able to vote for this commissioner, and you should not vote for Jonathan Culp. We're going to talk about lots of different problems tonight, but the very first and foremost is he's a quitter, he's a loser, he's a liar. And he's showing it to you right here because he's wanting to vacate this seat just 11 months into it.
And what I want people to understand is
Kate put it right there. He doesn't want to serve. He wants power, period.
Well, he wants power and money.
Money.
So there's a big difference between how much you make on the council and how much you make as a commissioner. So the council is only making about $14,000 or $15,000 a year. They have benefits, I believe. But, this job is, and this one's 50,000. So that's quite an increase. And I believe he's 26 or 27 years old, which okay, we can argue about the age, but my concern is that through every council meeting, I have to say, can you speak up?
Yeah.
Every council meeting, I have to say, can you speak in the mic? And then I have to listen to his mother-in-law, Jody Norick, tell me, you really can't hear me. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm literally not going to sit in the seat, ask you to continue to speak up if I can hear you. I've got better things to do with myself than to ask that. Yes, they do get insurance. They do get a pension. They get a retirement if they serve 2 terms. So they do get all of that. What I want people to understand is, and I know Kristopher yells at me all the time because he's like, well, you're all over the place.
Oh, God.
So here's what I want people to understand. For any of the Democrats who are paying attention to this, listen, this is your moment for you guys to run as PCs. Okay.
Mhm.
So precinct committeemen, this is your year coming. The importance of your seat to be a PC is you can be a PC, but you can also be an elected official. So you can run for both. Okay. PCs only run in the primary. But the reason why PCs are important, and I got to word this right, in Madison County, it's all Republicans that hold seats right now. Okay. So
Yes.
PCs don't have as much power, but you are the people who will vote for a caucus depending on what seat is open. Now, as we approach 2026, and we've seen in this last election last week, we saw some Democrats win, we saw some Republicans lose, and vice versa. That's when, if that Democrat doesn't work out, then you would come in and you would be the voting power. So that's why it's important to be a PC. I would strongly encourage PCs, if you are not in the in group, the uniparty, because Madison County, Republicans and Democrats, it's one party. I would hold my application to the last day of filing, because that will not give them time enough to find somebody to run against you. So I would go ahead and make sure all your paperwork is ready to go, and then I would make sure that is submitted. Now, Kristopher, I don't think, say that I'm not available that last day. Somebody can take my paperwork in and turn it in for me, correct?
Someone can file for you, yes.
Yeah. So don't think, well, I'm working and I have to go the day before. You can always do it that way. Usually they close that off at noon. So make sure you're up there in the morning. But I just want people to be fully aware of that. I want people to understand the Democrats, it's your turn. You saw what we did as Republicans last year. We took over, a good amount of the seats. It wasn't enough to get Russ Willis in a skirt out, Kelly Hewer, but it's a change, and we'll see what caucuses bring. So there's a lot of, although we're on a lot of tangents tonight, and we are going to get into
We're not.
We're going to get into Jonathan Culp. I want you to understand that Rodney Cummings, this is his last, he's not running again. Okay. There is some word on the street that he may step down, caucus in Andrew, so that you can't be an incumbent. That's why caucusing, that's why these PC seats are so important. I don't know if that'll take place. The same thing for Jonathan. If he should step down, they would have to caucus somebody into his seat. If Olivia stepped down, he could potentially caucus into commissioner.
Caucus? Are you talking about, are you saying the word caucus? Is that the word that you're saying?
Well, if they step down and the seat's vacated.
Yeah, but you're saying caucus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got something weird going on with my volume here or something. I don't know. I thought you were saying some other word, but go ahead.
So I want you just to understand what's happening here. A lot of times they'll say you can't beat an incumbent. So there are strategic moves that parties will make in order to kind of secure that for their person.
That's a good question there, Cindy. Let's get back. Let's polling this, because I've not heard this. Do you know? Do they have someone in the wings that wants Culp's seat on the council?
So we do not know if they have somebody waiting in the wings in Culp's seat. But what you have to remember, it is an at-large.
Everybody got it except her.
It is an at-large seat. Listen, I'm trying to be politically correct here with the caucus, okay?
No, I'm not sure that you are.
So So, anyways, okay. See, you're the one off on a tangent.
All right, go forth.
So I want people to understand it's an at-large seat. They can caucus in anybody, right?
Yeah.
So who cares who they have sitting over there in the wings? Listen, people. I've never in my life been to a county election board where you saw the Republican chair assign the Democratic chair to sit in his seat for him to represent.
We're getting way too far down the rabbit hole.
Now, wait a minute. So potentially they can sign off on a Democrat who wants to be a Republican. They can bring in a Republican. They could bring back Ben Gale. I mean, I can see that happening. So this is what I'm saying to you. It's an at-large seat.
Yeah.
Anything is possible with what goes on in Madison County. I mean, it's crazy what goes on. I mean, here's the other thing I want people to understand. If I was a gambling woman, I might gamble that it's Pete Hewer.
That would be so wild.
Let me explain to you why. Pete Hewer, if my memory serves me correct, I don't believe he has ever won an election.
I don't think so.
He's always been caucused in. He is like 18 months from getting a retirement because you have to do like 8 years. So they really desperately need Pete to go back into a seat. This would get him where he needed to go.
Well, that's Jonathan's not. Look, we'll back up. Jonathan's not going to step down. Jonathan's not going to leave the seat until he wins.
But if he wins the commissioner, a caucus would have to take place.
Yes.
And so I can see where Kelly Hewer. I mean, listen, Nicole hit the nail on the head. Like she said, Madison County is the nepotism of capital of the world. Like you've never seen nepotism until you visited Madison County. Okay.
Right.
Like Nicole said they used his dad's name in order for him to win his council seat. That's exactly right. Even in the paper, they said that Todd Culp was running for county council and he was running for auditor, and no one made the paper correct this. I mean, there was huge screw up, right? And so, that's the kind of thing I want people to be thinking of is, believe me, they're working this system. They had a meeting evidently a couple of days ago. They didn't invite the whole community, but it was the meeting of the uniparty of Republicans that, hey, this is how we're going to move forward. Who are we going to include in our circle and who are we not going to include in our circle? Right.
Yeah.
So Kelly Hewer is already demonstrating to all of us that she's not an open and fair GOP leader.
Sure.
She is going to, I mean, listen, when you go up to her at the fair and this woman, wait a minute. She shakes your hand.
Yes.
And she says to you, in order to get respect, you have to give respect. Is that how a GOP leader greets the community?
No, that's insane.
So
Absolutely.
I'm telling you right now, what we're getting ready to talk to you about on what Jonathan has been doing, there's no one in this county that's going to hold him accountable. Not going to be our GOP leader.
No. We're aware of that.
Or it's not going to be our clerk, Linda Smith. I mean, hell, we watched ballots being manipulated and machines being.
All right. Let's pull it back to Culp. You're literally trying to throw every topic in. Just doing it. Let's get back to Culp.
And let's get back to Culp. And this is why Culp, Linda Smith, who's up for election, they need to go.
Yes. And so the deal with Culp right now is, so you started hearing in July that he was campaigning. I know you've been saying it to me since June or July that he's been walking. Now, at that time, we didn't know like what exactly he was doing, but you were pretty adamant that you were hearing that he was out looking for, and we didn't know because at the time we didn't know what was going on with Olivia. And I was like, man, he's not going to challenge Olivia. So if they're doing this, that means Olivia is not going to be there for some reason.
And it's very weird if somebody has just won a seat that they would be out campaigning on an off year. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Now listen, Mikhail Vaughn's been out walking for some time, but we all knew he's going after a district seat. So that's always, but for somebody who just got elected into a seat, hadn't even been in the seat for 6 months, and then was out kind of telling what he was doing is he was out talking to the people in Markville saying, hey, we're going to hold the sheriff's department accountable. We're not going to give them the funds they need. You know, we're going to make them spend their commissary money. We're going to make sure they're more cost efficient. Well, there was truth to that, because they did strike the deal for the raises that the commissary has to come off like $300,000. So there's truth to what he was out doing. But now it makes more sense to where we were headed. So this will be interesting to watch. Now, Kristopher, he could make both you and I look wrong, right? And he could say, oh, the joke's on you two. I'm not really running for commissioner. We won't know that till the end of February.
Well,
all things have been turned in.
Well, so back up. So here's the deal. I've said for a long time, specifically speaking of state representatives and state senators, but it would definitely be the same thing for commissioners. It would be the same thing for like city council people in cities like City of Muncie, City of Anderson, City of Newcastle, City of Winchester. You know, your towns could do the same thing. It would be kind of weird for county council to do it just because of what their responsibility is, but it would be okay. There would be nothing wrong with a county councilor. There's nothing wrong with an elected figure. Hell, your prosecutor could do it. Your clerk could do it. Your sheriff could do it. Someone could be elected, be in a seat, and could say, you know what? I'm going to go out and talk to my constituents. And they could go door to door. And they could say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm your sheriff. I'm your elected commissioner. I'm your state representative. I'm state senator. And
I think that would be great.
To you. That would be fantastic.
It's great that they would do that.
They would they could offer up a business card with their email address, and it could be their county email number. They could offer up their cell phone. They could offer up their social media page. And it would be perfectly legal. It would be all above board if they were walking door to door and telling people, hey, if you have a concern about what's going on in the county, if you have a concern about what's going on with crime, depending on if it's a sheriff, if you have a concern what's going on in the district, if it's state representative or city council, whatever, if you have a concern, contact me at such and such email address at madisoncounty.in.gov or at cityofanderson.in.gov or, District 33, whatever. That would be fantastic, and it would be legal. No one does it. Nobody does it. They walk around when they campaign, and then you don't see them for 2 to 4 years, depending on when the election is, 2 for representatives, 4 for everybody else.
And if you're in Madison County, you certainly aren't going to get your opportunity at the podium.
That's definitely true.
So I just want you to know that. So here's what we're going to show everybody. And I'd like to see what everybody's thought process is. Okay. Now, is this what we're getting ready to show you? Is this legal? Is this just morally and ethically bankrupt? Is this buying votes? Is this, I don't know. I would just like you guys to put one words in there and let's see where everybody goes with this. But I got several calls yesterday, and I got inundated with calls. I was out trying to get some things situated before our big snowstorm today. And Jonathan has been out knocking, and he was actually out in the Pendleton area knocking yesterday with his wife. And he left door hangers. If he missed you, if he didn't miss you, I suppose he just gave you these.
Wait, pause up. This is the time that I want to say, if there is anybody out there that hears this, that sees this, that watches this, that Jonathan Culp came to your door and spoke to you, you actually spoke to him or his wife. If you know they knocked on your parents' door and your parents talked to him, or your friend, or you hear someone mention this or whatever, please, 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 for the love of God, reach out and contact Katherin or I, and I'll make it really, really, really simple for you. All you got to do is text me at this number on the screen, 765-546-9796. Call or text me. You don't have to give me your name. If you do, I'll hide your name. I want to know, because here's what we have.
The content.
We have people, we have video of him doing this, and we have pictures of the material he dropped off. We don't have, at this point just yet, word of what he was saying to the people yesterday. We have the contents of his speech when he was doing this on other days, but we don't have the contents of his word of mouth yesterday. So if there is someone out there that spoke to this man or his wife yesterday, or any time in the last couple of days, or maybe last weekend, please contact me. And Nicole, you are free to put my phone number in that group too, 765-546-9796. I want to know. They can reach out to us on social media. You can reach out to Katherin. We want to know.
They'll be kept completely anonymous.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, if you want to come on the show and talk about it,
sure,
we'd be more than happy to have you on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So please understand that. We will accommodate whatever you feel comfortable with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's
let me pull this up.
What's going on here? It was very interesting. Now, when I got the couple of calls, people were concerned, and they said to me, "We feel like this is buying votes." Now you have to wait.
Well, and yes, wait for that before we get to what it is.
Yeah. So this is how that started.
The door hanger thing here. This is a door hanger. This is very common campaign literature style hanger, and they hang this on the door. They put this on your fence post, whatever. This thing says Jonathan Culp. That's what like was on all of his signs. It's the same kind of style thing that's on his dad's sign, his mom's sign. You know, they ran very weird. Okay. So this says Jonathan Culp for Madison County. Okay. It doesn't say for Madison County Council. It doesn't say working for Madison County, which you would think if he's out there just working and he's just, this is just a thing that he's doing as a counselor, maybe it would be Jonathan County, Counselor Jonathan Culp working for Madison County. This says Jonathan Culp for Madison County. Sorry, I missed you. Then it's got his weirdo picture. And then it's got up here in the corner, Republican. It doesn't say Republicans, like I would thought this was Republicans for. He's a Republican for Madison County. And then down here at the bottom, it says paid for by the Culp Election Committee. Now keep that in your mind, because we're going to come back to that. Keep that in your mind. Paid for by the Culp Election Committee. We're going to come back to that, because that's a problem. Okay. So that's one problem. Problem number two I see on here is it doesn't have it. This is very misleading. Very, like Nicole said, very vague booking. Madison County, what? Is it Madison County Commissioner? Is it Madison County? What is he running for here? That's very strange. It's almost like they've left this. It's very strange. Okay. So we're gonna go on, because there's more here. So you flip this thing over, and this is what you get on the backside. Whoops, not that. You flip this thing over, and it still says Jonathan Culp for Madison County. Very strange. Now down here in the below it says, I appreciate the support from my constituents. I will continue to be available and serve Madison County faithfully. Okay, so that's what it says. Very strange. And it's got a picture of him and his wife on here. Okay, so that's that. So then the next, okay, so we're back here to the hanger. Okay, so then the next thing we get is there are four business card look, or five, excuse me. Yeah. Well, yeah. Four with the Culp sideways on it. And I know this is a little sideways, so I'm going to read this to you. It says Culp for Madison County. It doesn't say Jonathan. It just says Culp for Madison County. And then below it, it says Jonathan.Culp at Madison madisoncounty.in.gov. All right. This is problem number 3. What? Yeah, this is problem 3. This is, if this is campaign material, and I'm going to tell you, in all of the 30-some years I've been in politics, this looks like campaign material. He's not got an office on there, which is the first problem, but this looks like campaign material, okay? And if it is, this is a serious, if this, in my opinion, this is the most serious issue of them all, the fact that he might be campaigning and he's included his Madison County official email, okay? And so what does it say? It says, call for Madison County. It's got his email. Then what's the white one say? Well, the white one says it's got a date, and the date that's on there, it lists, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is right here. So the white one that is on there, that's sideways, says date April 24th, 2025. So he got that in April of this year, okay? And expiration date. The date is 5/5 of 2026. Now, Katherin, you pointed out, what's 5/5 of 26?
That is election day.
That's the primary.
That is the primary election day.
Yeah, so that's it. This expires. Whatever this is expires on election day. Okay, that's interesting. So then it goes down here and it says issued by Kyle Fogel. Well, who's that? What's Kyle Fogel? Is that his campaign chair? Is that his secretary, his treasurer? Who is that? What is this? Now, then below there, it says program free bloomin' pickle EVT. What's that? Program free blossom / pickle. Free blossom / pickle.
Well, I think
EVT.
I think you can get fried pickles if you don't want a blooming onion. Is what I think.
Okay.
Now I sent you a bigger picture of that white card in Messenger.
Okay. Then it says recipient Culp Community Outreach. Now, do we know, is that a non-for-profit?
I've tried to search for that.
Hey, do you have the ability to check?
I have tried to search for that to see what exactly that is.
Culp Community Outreach. Because if Culp Community Outreach is a non-for-profit, then that would be even a bigger issue. I don't know what that is, but that's weird. They put a bunch of words on there. Okay, so now we're gonna flip these cards over and see what they are on the back side. We're gonna flip these over and see what they are on the flip side. When you do that, voila, they are, it looks like coupons. And the coupons are free coffee with the purchase of a pastry, Ruby's Cafe and Bakery. All right, that's the one in the top left-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner is Healthy's in Pendleton. Present this card to receive $2 off a meal replacement shake and energy bomb, valid for one time only. In the top right-hand corner, we have the Grilla. Present this card for a free side of fries with the purchase of a sandwich. Then in the bottom right-hand corner, we have present this card for a free ribbon fry with purchase of an entree. And this is the 10 plate. And then over here on the right hand in the long one is Texas Roadhouse. Present this card for a free cactus blossom or fried pickles with purchase of an entree. Now, I'm also going to put the message out here. If you or someone you know also received these, contact me and let me know, because I would like to know how many of these did he pass out. Did he pass out 100? Did he pass out 50?
And I want people to understand this. Nicole probably knows a better answer than I do. So the card in the green in the right hand, I believe that's the new cafe that kind of got funded through ARPA money on 8th Street. And I forget who the owners are, but there are some Democrat players, in this, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. I just want to show people how everything is intermingling. I just kind of want to show that these are all throughout. So the green card's from Anderson, the healthy thing is from Pendleton, the gorilla is from Markville, the tin plate is from Elwood, and then the Texas Roadhouse is, of course, in Anderson. So as you can see, he is running it countywide. Now he is a countywide councilman. So yeah, I could see where, that's great. He's out, working all the different areas.
Thank you.
I just want everybody to understand that these weren't localized. So I just wanted to point that out to everybody.
Well, so if you weren't at home yesterday in these areas that he was at, and you got there, this is what it would have looked like. It's paper clipped. These 5 cards are paper clipped to the bottom of this door hanger that's then hung on your door, hung by your mailbox, hung on your fence post, slammed inside, your door, whatever the deal is. Okay, this is how they left it. Now, listen, I've left lots of campaign material before. I've left little baggies of candy back in the olden days when people weren't afraid you'd poison stuff. I've left campaign fingernail files with people's name on it. I've left boxes of matches. Please elect Scott a hole. Lots and lots and lots and lots of different things. Okay, over the years, I'm going to be perfectly honest. When Katherin sent this to me last night, I had immediately had a problem with a lot of things here. I went back and forth on whether or not this was illegal or not. Because listen, here's the deal. I could run for office, and I could go to businesses in town and ask them if they wanted to donate certain things. Matter of fact, when I have ran for office before. I've ran for office twice, and I would hold events. And when I would hold events, I would go to different businesses and ask them to donate things to me. I would mark that on my campaign finance form that it was donated a monetary value, in-kind donation. We would take it there, and then we would do a couple of different things. We would have raffles for it, and we would offer door prizes, and some things we just offered people could walk up and take. And so you can very much do that, and it's not an issue. It's not a problem at all to do that. So then I shifted and said, well, so is it a problem if I pass these cards out to constituents? And I went back and forth, and Katherin and I talked about it, and she looked some stuff up, and I looked some stuff up, and I talked to Kate and Brandon, and I literally went through this all night last night. I'd fall asleep, I'd be asleep, I'd wake up, I'd look some stuff up, I'd go to sleep, I'd look some stuff up. There's 2 ways to approach removing everything else. Let's just talk about the cards. Let's talk about the coupon side of the cards. If you in Madison County have a problem with this, if this looks gross to you, and if you think this is buying the vote, it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. If you think this is gross, it's gross, and screw it. Don't vote for him. You shouldn't vote for him. It is gross. It's a problem. It is a problem. Okay. If in your mind it's a problem, then it's a problem. It doesn't matter if it's legal or not. You can not like it. It could be legal and you could not like it. So first of all, think like that. If you don't like this is an issue. Okay. If you don't like it, think that's an issue. Okay. So then Kate's mentioning down here, and we went back and forth on different things. So there's a couple of different things like Katherin was talking about. First of all, so in order for Jonathan to be able to give these out, these 5 places had to give these to him. So first off, could definitely be a problem with businesses giving an elected official items, possibly for, like, they could say, well, wait a minute, like, What happens if they come in asking for appropriations, or they ask for this, or they ask for, loans and edit dollars? Is this going to find them favor? Like Kate says, notice 4 don't have expiration dates. So it's like, is this an issue? Because there's definitely law that says you as a business or as a person, an elected official cannot take gifts from you, and this could be seen as a gift. Now, the only way that this is going to cover his ass, the only way that he would be maybe safe here, is if he has. First of all, it depends on how many that he has, because this could be very. I mean, how? Let's try to come up with an amount of how much you think all these cards are worth.
Well, I mean, I love the tin plate. I just want everybody to know, like, the ribbon fries are like the best. Like, I specifically go to the tin plate just for the ribbon fries.
And I want to be clear, we're not knocking any of these businesses.
No, not at all. I mean, I love the bloomin' onion. I mean, so no, it has nothing to do with the businesses. And one has to wonder how clear he was with the businesses is what he was doing with these. Right? I mean, that's the other bit of confusion. What I want people to understand here, information's coming into me as I'm working on all this. So, my problem is if he is so eager to talk to these people, I don't know why his cell phone's not on there. I don't know why he didn't use a county email. I mean, I see on the thread.
Well, you mean you don't know why he did?
Right. I see people who are writing here on the column saying, hey, I've emailed him. He's never gotten back to me. So that's strange. If you're going to tell people you want to talk to him, people are saying, did anybody turn this into the state? Well, here's the thing. We got to get through our own county election board. No.
Back up. If there are problems with his campaign finance with this, it would go to the state. There's some things. Most of the shit goes to the campaign finance. And if so, you guys are shit out of luck. I don't know what goes on over there. We're going to have to, I don't know what goes on there. So, but we got to look at this. So first of all, if Mr. Culp is saying, well, I'm doing this because I care about Madison County and I'm really wanting to do this, and this is not campaigning. First of all, he passed this out yesterday. I figured that he would think that he would maybe get some phone calls or text messages or emails. Well, let me tell you, I attempted to reach out to Mr. Culp. Let me tell you exactly what here. I attempted to reach out to Mr. Culp yesterday, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 times yesterday, 3 text messages and 1 phone call. And he didn't respond to any of the text messages. He did not respond to the phone call. He didn't answer. I left a message. He did not answer. And I sent a text to his county email, which I would assume he can get via his phone or on a laptop while at home. They all get their county. They don't have to be at the county building to get their email. He didn't respond to any of that. I normally don't contact people on Sundays, but I did contact him today because it was a big enough story that we were going to be talking about it tonight. I did text him at 11:30 today, and here's the contents of the text messages. I texted him yesterday and I said, are you currently running for something in the 2026 election cycle? And then I sent a picture of the door hanger. He didn't respond. Then later in the day, I text, so are you campaigning for something? ? I then text him later, if not, what are you going door to door for with these door hangers? And he didn't respond. And then I called and left a message and I said, hey, I'm really needing to speak with you. My name is Kristopher Bilbrey. Please contact me back. I'm wanting to find out what's going on. Are you walking door to door for your role as a counselor? can you please contact me and let me know what you're doing? I gave him my number, gave him my email. I've not heard back anything. I then sent an email asking the same kind of content. What are you doing? And then today, again, I text him, I really need you to reply and explain what is going on with these materials. And then again, I left him another message. Now, at that point, it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna harass the guy. I mean, he's elected official. I feel like I could text him or call him a couple times each day, and he can not like it, but that's just tough shit. I'll try to reach out for him. It does say for Madison County, absolutely. However, but as a member of the media, I have questions about what he's doing in Madison County. So that's his problem. The fact, I didn't tell him specifically where I was coming from, where I was calling from or whatever. I just, hold on here.
Don't read that out loud.
I'm not going to.
So, I mean, I just want people to understand, like, I don't know. I mean, Kristopher and I have looked up a lot of stuff to say if this is legal. So what this takes us into, and let me just tell you why I want to,
So wait, what is this? This is crazy.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. We'll just have to talk about that. But, yeah, as things are coming in, it's kind of an interesting, what's coming in, but we'll have to figure out how to share this with you guys, because I don't want to tell anybody's name or do anything like that.
Wait, ask this person if we cut their name out. No, well,
yeah, we have to think that through. That's what I'm saying.
Well, just bottom line, we're getting information that some of this stuff was not right. Like it seemed like he kind of conned people into what's going on here. So then that really leads me to my question of what the hell is going to happen with his campaign material? Because if he writes down that these people gave him this stuff in kind donations, and these people come back and say, well, we were kind of tricked. We didn't know, he led us to believe this or whatever. This is a big problem. This is a really big problem. But we're just talking about one small problem. And I'll be honest, this is the gray area where if this makes you feel yucky, okay, feel that way. You should feel that way. It should. This is a gray area, and you are right to feel the way that you feel. And if you have a problem with this, good. Don't vote for this dude. He's trouble from here.
Well, here's the whole thing. This leads us into another topic that relates to this.
Well, hold on. Before you get to the other we got to share the other problems with this, because then that's what are you talking about?
I want to come back to those problems.
Well, what's the other topic you're talking about?
Okay, so in 2012.
No. We got to talk about that. Hold on, just 1 second, because I know where you're going. So coming back to the cards, as you can see here, problem number 2, going backwards, it would be problem 3. Problem number 3, which I called the biggest problem, is the fact that on the back of these coupons, it looks like, he has his name, Culp for Madison County, and then he has jonathan.culp@madisoncounty.in.gov.
That's his county email.
That's his county email. People email him there that want to talk about the county budget, that want to talk about programs they're doing. Other elected officials email him.
What collector said, yes. Kristopher and I went over the quid pro quo last night. We went over that back and forth. Listen, last night, the reason why Kristopher didn't sleep well is because he was taking it as well as he was giving it, because I wasn't having it last night when I was in the middle of Myers, and he's trying to make excuses for this. And then
I'm not making excuses. You can't do that. When I push back on telling you that you might be wrong and you got to back some of the insanity back, I'm just saying you have to know, like,
He
I'm
wanted to
not
give me a
ever just going
Ritalin,
to come on.
and I just
Right.
wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to come on the show and be like, this is wrong. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. I got to know it before I just do it. That's the reason people trust what I do here.
So we have our private conversations too. So it was a good banter last night. I mean, there was a lot of thought-provoking back and forth. I don't know. We probably called each other about 20 times where it was like, no, wait a minute. I got another saying. Nope, wait a minute. So yes,
I will tell you.
Kristopher questioned the hatchet law. There was several
5,
things.
6, 7, hold on. 8, 9, 10. There was 11 times I called her last night. So I don't know how many times she called me.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this is what we wanted to happen is you guys are actually thinking the same as we're thinking. And where does the line come in? You know, you're using your county email for this. Well, if you can use that, why can't you use, where's your cell phone at? I don't understand. I'll be interested to see. I actually will be interested people who go in and use these cards, what the response will be as well. And so, you know, there's lots of things going on in here. Don't argue in front of the baby. Well, I can guarantee you this Culp is watching this right now. There's not a question in my mind. As well as
that's
I mean, they're all watching this. So, you know, the other thing is, Kristopher, is this a PAC?
Well, okay. So all right. So
what is a PAC? Maybe we should tell people that.
Yeah. So when you run for office, and a lot of people get caught up with this because they think, well, the Constitution says, you know, I can run for office, state constitution, I can just run for office and just do whatever. There are certain things that you got to do. It's not just easy. Running a campaign. I guess you could run a campaign the wrong way, and it could be pretty easy. If you run a campaign the right way, where you build a committee and you have people helping you, and you got to open up a bank account. You can't just use your bank account. Right. Yeah, you know, you got to file paperwork. You got to file campaign finance reports a couple times a year. You got to close the campaign finance. You got to close the committee if you lose or if you win or whatever. There's things you got to do. And so when you file to run and you see these on the bottoms of signs and on various campaign literature where it says paid for by the committee to elect, or paid for by the friends to elect, paid for by the candidate, whatever the deal is, whatever you decide is your committee name, that disclaimer has to go on material to show and to prove where you got the money to fund this. You know, they try to track this. Now, it's not they don't do nearly as enough good job as they should. I feel like there's far more better shit that they could do to really lock this stuff down. It's really willy-nilly. And I feel like that's a big problem. Like it needs to be tightened down to more, and there needs to be bigger punishments and more severe punishments for things going on. But it is what it is. So, and you got to file these reports in a timely manner, and they've got to be like spot on. You can't really fidget with the numbers. And so, for example, if you go out, let's just make it simple. You go out and you run a campaign for town council or for city council or county council, and you raise $1,000. People give you $1,000, and you go out and you buy $800 worth of campaign material. You buy $800 of the signs plus your literature. Everything comes to $800. You got $200 left. You got to account for all of that, okay? Because what's happened in the past is people's done, suspicious shit with it. They've lived out of the campaign. I know Janine Lee Lake, a candidate for office that ran around here forever. That was always the accusation. She ran for the same office every 2 years, a congressman, and she ran for like 8 years combined, just continued running, and people said that they felt that she was living out of her campaign fund, and there was a lot of hokey pokey weirdness that went on there, and that's a serious allegation for many people. So I don't know what do we have pictures or material from when he ran in 2024? I don't know what his committee was.
Yeah, well, I've got his financials. Let me look.
yeah, if you could look at his financials, or if you could send me a picture of his sign, that should tell us what his committee is. And the problem is, for state offices, for state candidates, state representative, state senator, or the governor, you can look this up at the state level. For local, for town council, for city council, for mayor, for county commissioner, county council, for sheriff, for prosecutor, it's all kept at the local level in the clerk's office.
Oh, that one I just gave you is a good one.
Okay. In order for us to get this material, we would have to get this material from the clerk's office. So it's not as easy to get this stuff. Okay, right here. So this says, okay, that's on Facebook. Committee to elect Jonathan A. Culp for Madison County Council. So that's what his Facebook page is. But
let's take a look at who posted that.
That's his mother.
That's his mother. So
yeah.
Let me see here. I'll get you some.
Yeah, let me know if you got the thing. Either a sign or his
I should have a sign.
His documentation. Because the reason we're talking about this is, so number one, we need to know what his committee is. Is his committee?
Well, I'll work on that. You want to talk about? You want to talk about the 2010?
Well, I'm building up to this. So, is his committee the committee to elect Jonathan A. Culp for Madison County Council? Because this, I'll put it to you this way: the material that he has, this material, if this is campaign material, the material that's right here, right there, if this is campaign material, it has to have a disclaimer on it. Now, it only has to have a disclaimer on one side. Okay, it only has to be on one side, so it doesn't have to be on both things or anything like that. It's just got to be on one side. And to his, I guess, credit, there is a thing on one side, and it's here. It says paid for by the Culp Election Committee. Well, last night I brought up to Kate and Brandon, maybe I brought it up to Katherin last night or this morning, one or the other. I said, maybe it's a PAC. A PAC, to answer Katherine's question, is a political action committee. It's different than an election committee. So, for example, Brandon, Kate, and I have always thought about creating a PAC. A PAC is a political action committee. One person can have it, 50 people can have it, 200 people can have it. You can come together as a group of like-minded people, and you can create a committee that allows you to get donations of money. It allows you to donate to yourself or to ask people for campaign contributions so that you can put out materials supporting a candidate, not supporting a candidate, supporting, we could put something out saying we don't like Senate Bill 1. We could put out something saying we don't like Governor Braun. We could say we like Sheriff Tony Skinner. We like, we dislike Mayor Ridenour. We dislike Mayor Ridenour's use of money on the bot projects to make the fire. You could use it for anything, but and basically, even though we're not candidates, but we're putting out campaign material for or against, and we've got to keep track of our money. And PACs normally have super cute names or whatever. Like we were going to do, what were we going to do? Tips was Truth in Politics. Truth in Politics. I forget what the S was. Tip. Maybe it was just tip. Truth in Politics. And it would also be like TPS, Truth in Politics. But I don't know what the S was. I don't know, because it was going to be like the political spotlight and true. I don't know, whatever. But we were going to do something like that. And so I got to thinking maybe this is a PAC. However, I looked it up and I couldn't find a PAC. And Kate, did you say you looked it up and couldn't find a PAC? So we've not been able to find a PAC. So if this is a PAC, they're doing something wrong. If they've done something at the state level or at the county level, we're going to have to look. I'm going to have to request tomorrow. Katherin sent me something. I looked.
So I want to show you, this is what happened. And this never got rectified. So I sent you what they were advertising in the primaries last year. And I called them on this. And it was about the fact that you could not read who paid for those signs. Like, you're supposed to be able to see from pretty well. And they put it like on like 8 font. And Russ Willis never, or Kelly Hewer never made them fix any of that.
Can you see what it is?
Well, that's what I'm trying to see if I did close-ups. I think I did. I got to go back to the date. Let me see here.
What's the, you're going to have to tell me what you mean here. I don't know what this is. And is the money that PACs take in taxable? No.
Okay, let me look. Let me see what the date is on this one. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Kate's got me something here. Let me see what Kate's got me. Okay, so Jennifer Culp has paid for by the committee to elect Jennifer Culp.
And they were using those signs during the primary, and nobody stopped them, even though complaints were made. I mean, this is the problem. Until we get a decent clerk, until we get, and that would have been under Linda Smith's reign, until we get people who actually are going to do the right thing, this inbreeding amongst all of them, where they can just run amok any way they want, put up signs any way they want, do whatever they want. It's just gross. And why people keep electing them, I have no idea. Let's see here. I don't know if I got it. Yeah, it says, yeah, so this says paid for by the committee to elect Culp. That's what it says. So this one you can see it on if you blow it up real good. So
paid
that's
for
what
by the committee to elect Culp. Listen, he could very well have a committee under that name.
Sure.
He just has to have campaign finance form that goes with it. It just,
But and that's just how small that was.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's what he has on the signs.
I would argue that the font. I would argue the font that he had on the billboard, you could probably see it.
No,
could you see it while driving?
No, all of them were like that. Russ knew it was a problem. He knew it was a concern.
And listen, folks, these things are very serious. If you put out signs without this, in most places they will make you take them down and redo it, or you got to go get stickers and go slap on all the signs. You got to do it. You've got to do it right. Kate has something here that says the elect Culp sign says paid for by the Culp election committee. So then, by God, when I call there to the clerk's office tomorrow, they better have a campaign finance form under this Culp election committee. And I don't know that they all three could be using that. I don't think they could be using that. I think one person, if they're all three using that too would be a problem. So there are all, this is the reason why you don't let a 20, how old is this kid?
I think he's like
still wearing diapers. 24-year-old kid, 26-year-old kid that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, making these decisions, and he's going to bring down the whole family. And
well, he's only a piece of the puzzle. I mean, there's a lot more going on in the auditor's office too.
Oh yeah.
That puts a black eye on this family too. I mean, this whole thing is just out of control. So, Russ was all about them doing it. He didn't have a problem with them doing it. I certainly had a problem that you couldn't read it because the reason why is they made us take signs down. They made us move signs. Russ literally pulled up our signs and threw them in a garbage can and got called on it. And only when we called the state police, all of a sudden he knew where they were and in which dumpster they were in. Yeah. That's the problem with Madison County. It's a big problem. And, it's one of those things. I'll have to find the finance reports because I know I've sent those finance reports to you too.
I'll look back on them. I lost my emails here a while back that
so we'll go through that. But the reason why this is so relevant is I don't know if people from Madison County remember a name by the name of Angela Shelton.
Okay, so right, so what we were just talking about there was the disclaimer. If you remember, that was going from the beginning to now. The disclaimer was problem 2. The fact that he doesn't have an office on there, that's problem 1. We'll come back to that in a minute. We've talked about the buying votes. Okay, so that was problem 4. And then we talked about the email. That's problem 3. Problem 2 was the disclaimer. Let's go back to problem 3 for a minute. That's the email that he has listed, because this is what I would consider the biggest problem on there. This is what I keep saying is the biggest problem, because of what Katherin is mentioning. And I actually have this article pulled up here, what she's mentioning here. So do you want to lead this in, or do you want me to read this, or what?
No, I'll let you go ahead. And I hear this was a very nice lady, but she did use
nice lady
county email. And, people say that to me all the time. Well, these are really nice people. Okay, people, nice people can do some bad things. Nice people can use some poor judgment. It happens. So, I mean, get off of it. I mean, the fact is the fact. I guess this lady, and this is what blows my mind. So back then she had a Keurig machine in her office that she had bought, but she was using the taxpayers to buy the pods for those Keurig machines, and she was using it only for the people in her office or whatnot. And so that was a big ordeal. But, when we took the roll over in the coroner's office and we proved that we had cosmetic supplies and funeral home supplies that were paid by the taxpayers for the previous coroner, no one wanted to address it. But this lady, for things like that and some other things, she was forced to resign or face criminal charges. So she must not have been part of the in crowd, because you don't see that happening here. And the problem with Madison County is we really don't have anywhere to turn. We don't.
Well,
but we have to try.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to keep trying, or else it just happens.
We know that Andrew Hanna and Rodney Cummings has clearly shown us that they will come after you if you speak the truth. If you're not part of the in crowd, they will try to do everything they can to come after you or help the other parties come after you. Linda Smith has been a perfect example of that. The election board has been a perfect example of that. When we filed, complaints and violations for filing, Todd Culp should have never been able to run for the auditor. He didn't use his legal first name. They gave him a pass when in the past elections, they have removed people for less than that.
Well,
so this is where this is important to listen to this story. You want to read it?
Yeah. So what I would like to say here, again, we are mixing. Okay. Understand what we're talking about. We are mixing campaigning with the public office. Think about Watergate. I mean, think this is shit like this is brought down a president. This is a big deal. You cannot mix your public position, your public office with campaigning. This has been a big deal. The FBI was in Muncie for 7 years on Operation Public Trust for very similar shit.
I think the biggest way to inform you and how to look at this is if I have a county employee car and I put campaign material inside that car.
Yeah.
That's the simplest way to look at it. You can't do that. You just can't do it. And so that's the simplest way I can show you. You can't commingle that.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So listen to this story on
this article is as follows. Now this is not a newspaper article by the newspaper. This is an editorial at the time. I would imagine they wrote articles on this at the time because obviously she wasn't in the in crowd, so it would have been okay. But this is an editorial that they found while this was going on. So this says, overall, Angela Shelton Angela Shelton's resignation, good for county. And Angela Shelton was the Madison County recorder. She took office. The election was in 2010. That was her first election. And she took office in January of 2011. And it starts off, it says, too often it seems rare for a local elected official to step down after misusing the public trust. But Angela Shelton's departure is a good thing for Madison County. And I want Todd Culp and his wife, Jennifer Culp, and their son, Johnny, I want them all to sit around the table tonight listening to this. And I'm going to tell you, because that, I about said something really bad, because that dude who is an elected official, I gave him several chances to respond to me today, and he didn't. And I cannot stand that in an elected official, especially if you're doing wrong. So now it's all of this, and I want to take this as far as we can take it, because I think he's doing wrong. So I want them to listen to this really, really well. Jennifer should remember this. If the rest of them are too stupid or weren't around or too drunk at the time to figure it out, Jennifer should know about this. So listen.
Or playing footsies with somebody they shouldn't be.
But Angela Shelton's departure is a good thing for Madison County. Shelton left her position as county recorder after Indiana State Police started an investigation into the transmitting of hundreds of emails from her office in October. The emails contained PDF attachments containing political content. The transmission brought the county's email system to a virtual standstill for at least 4 hours. And let's be honest. This is not a problem because it slowed the email system. It's not a problem because there were hundreds. If she would have sent one email, it would have been a problem. Okay, so keep that in mind. The PDF attachment was a 2-page letter written on county recorder office stationery with the greeting, "Dear Republican Precinct Committeemen and Vice Committeemen." The letter praised the county council's Republican majority for passing a balanced budget. The letter was signed by Shelton in her official capacity of recorder. The messages were eventually traced to the office computer of her chief deputy, Thomas Morgan, who also resigned amid the investigation. Shelton, a Republican, had been in office since 2010. There was no need to say Shelton left willingly. She could either have left or face the possible criminal misdemeanor charges. The threat of a future trial and conviction is a great motivator to right public wrongs. The public expects better from its elected officials, and though few would be surprised with the political nature of a missive from any politician, this silly move comes from an office that basically exists to preserve public records, not pass along political ads. Shelton, as the supervisor responsible for actions in her courthouse office, should have known better, and whether guilty or innocent, should have made that clear to her staffers. County policy is clear. County employees, now, keep that in mind. County employees are prohibited from using their county position to assist in political campaigns and from using work hours to engage in political activity. I will say here really quickly that there is a difference between a county employee and a political figure. They are not the same thing. But political figures cannot engage in this. This is what's called a Hatch Act. We have a little Hatch Act and a big Hatch Act, and they're federal violations. It's definitely a problem. Okay. By resigning, Shelton and Morgan save their own skins and keep an air of dignity to the office. More importantly, perhaps the resignation serve as warnings to future office holders. That's where it is. To serve as warnings to future office holders, that's the elected people. Misusing a public office is bad policy. So just FYI, there's that.
So in that, what people need to understand when we're talking about that is that when this happened, evidently, Linda Smith had supposedly ran against Larry Davis or something for assessor. She lost hugely. She cried, she whined, she carried on, and this was her moment. So she goes back and she goes to them and says, hey, I need to be caucused in for that. And I need to be caucused in for that because you guys didn't support me, and that's why I lost to Larry Davis. Now, Larry Davis was transferring over from being a Democrat to a Republican sometime in that fold, which rightfully so. I mean, I have to side with Linda on that one, that they should have supported her. So this is what I'm saying is you have to be real careful with these caucuses, because even if this were to cause Jonathan to step down or something would happen, sometimes the devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't know, because you might get something a lot worse. And Linda is a lot worse. So, I mean, here's the thing. If Jonathan were to step down, resign, or do anything, which I'm telling you, the Culps, they don't have any type of where most humans have like, I've done wrong, I really need to fix this. That's not going to happen with them. They truly believe whatever they're doing is always the right thing. And so, you know, it would take more than an act of Congress to get something done in Madison County as far as showing that something has been done inappropriately. And here's the question I keep going back and forth with Kristopher. Is this legal? Is it illegal? Is it ethical? Is it moral? You know, however you swing it, I feel like the community deserves an apology for these flyers that have been put out by Jonathan, especially when I listened to some of the fair complaints from these people. And Kristopher's got backfeed going on there. I just want people to understand that we got to be really careful on what we're putting out, because I can guarantee you this. If this were us, I guarantee you by everything in my power that they would be pulling our card on it. They would be holding our feet to the fire. They would be doing everything they could to pull us off of anything. I mean, and that's just how crazy all of this is. So
okay.
I will tell you.
Well, I want to speak to a couple of things. You know, I stepped out for a second, but I was listening to what you said, and I want to speak to a couple of those things. So first of all, you were asking several questions at once, and I don't think those questions are all the same. So first off, looking at this, it's not one problem, it's several. So to say, is this legal? Well, first of all, we have to know which issue we're talking about. Is him campaigning and mixing his official email with campaign 100,000% no question. We don't need to poll 1,000 attorneys. It is not illegal. It is not legal. It is not legal. It is 100% illegal. So that problem is illegal. Is it illegal what he's done with the questionable buying votes with the coupons? That is a very gray area. I'm going to have to do some checking. I'm going to call some people to State House tomorrow when they get in. I don't know. We go back and forth. I go back and forth. I've been talking to Kate and Brandon, and the minute Brandon gives me a solid answer, then he comes back and he's like, well, I don't know. I'm torn. I think Kate's pretty much. Kate, are you pretty much to the opinion that it's illegal? Oh, she don't know. So we're all gray. So I'm going to have to talk to the people to State House to find out exactly what our thought is, because we keep going back and forth on this. So, but again, I come back to that. Is it legal is different than saying, is it moral? Something can be legal and not moral, or can be illegal and more, it's all over the place. So that's why I say, if you're out in Madison County and you're like, I don't like this, I think he's trying to buy my vote. more power to you. Stick with it. I agree
Right?
with you. I
And
agree with
share
you. I agree. Yeah. Tell people, let people know, tell people you think it's dirty. Rock and roll. That's your feelings. That's your gut. I can't tell you what to feel on that. I'm right with you. Okay. That's then the next problem. The disclaimer. It's not legal. But it's not the same kind of illegal that the email is. It's a lesser thing, and all he would have to do is correct it. If he didn't, now he could possibly be facing a fine, but we would have to have an election board that would be willing to levy that against him. So then we have that to deal with. Now, there is one problem that we have not talked about, and that is what I called problem number 1, and that is all the way to the front, where he did not list what it is. He's trying to be coy. So this lets us know basically all we need to know. He knows he might not, because he's an idiot. I truly feel he's an idiot. Okay. And I know that everybody hates on the mom and the dad, and they might be dumb in their own right, but, and I'm not saying that's wrong. To hate on them or whatever. Do what you want to do. I get it. They're not good people. Now, that being said, though, hold on. That being said, they have been in politics long enough that they have picked up tricks, and they're scuzzy enough and they're sly enough that they do shit to fly under the radar, and they know what they're doing. He might not know, but I guarantee you his mama knows that he could go out there and write Culp for Madison County and leave off commissioner, and he could be playing the long, oh, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes. And just to muddy the waters a little bit, Jonathan was homeschooled by his parents. So I just want everybody to understand that. Now, I know that Brandon is probably going to watch this, and Kate and Kristopher. I want to muddy the waters with all our viewers right now. So, Kristopher, I just sent you an email. Can you pull that up on screen?
Yeah, let me see what it is here. I'll pull it up.
Now, in this email,
where did you send it to me at?
I think your Gmail. This email, because everybody knows that I've followed the finances and the finance reports, right? In this email, it has several finance reports attached in this email. On this email, it has Jonathan Culp and Todd Culp's finances. And I want to show something. That's why I was kind of half doing the things I was doing. Do you see that? I sent it to both you and Kate. And what I'd like to do is I'd like you to bring up Jonathan's finances, and I'd like Kate to bring up Todd's.
All right, I've got them both up here.
Right,
so,
but I want her to be looking at Todd's when you're looking at Jonathan.
Oh, can you do that, Kate?
She got it in her email too.
Yeah. So, but the one that oh shit, hold on. Okay, so the one that she needs to bring up is
Todd's.
No, but they don't say in the message. They don't say Todd's. One of them says the Culp. One of them says the Culp election committee, and the other says the committee to elect Culp.
Well, that's why I want to look at the two, right?
Right.
Because this is how confusing.
Hold on, stop. I need to find out from her which one she's pulling up. So, and I just lost her for a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, Kate, are you pulling it? Which one are you pulling up? The one on top or the one on bottom? I can't read your mouth.
Why don't you just bring her on stage? And you can talk to her like a normal person.
What are you doing?
I am off screen, and I opened the email. This records request Jonathan Culp.
Okay, go to the second. There's another email right after that I sent you, because that's something that I've got that goes to something else. That's like an amendment.
The one that you need to open. Record request.
The other one.
Yeah, it just says forward record request. And there are 8 record requests in it. There's Madison County Democrats, Friends of Madison County. And then the third one is Culp Election Committee.
My email's really slow, guys. I'm getting there.
That's right. I've got Todd's up. If you want to bring up Jonathan's.
I'm getting it.
It's a big file. But I just want to show you how confusing we're making this for the voters. And that's really sad because it should not be this hard.
Okay, so they are filing.
Well, this is 24. I haven't asked for 25s, which
yeah, but I would say they're not changing names up. So I'm just trying to figure out.
So there is a Culp election.
Yes. Yeah. So which one of those are you pulling up?
The Culp election committee.
Okay, you pulled that one up. I'm pulling up the committee to elect Culp. So then if you go down in where it says number 7, what's the name in number 7?
Jonathan Culp.
Okay, I've got Todd Culp's pulled up. Okay, so what are you wanting to do, Katherin? We've got both of them pulled up.
So let me go back to the screen here. All right, so bring up Jonathan's for a second.
Oh, you want to put them up on the screen?
Well, yeah, it's public record.
Oh, then hold on. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Then, all right, I can pull them both up to do that.
No. Are you putting them side by side?
Yes. No.
Okay.
We can't put them. We can only put one thing up at a time.
Right. So I want you to put that up, and then Kate can say, "Wait a minute, this line says this."
Yeah, she can keep that, but hold on a second. So all right, I'm going to pull up Todd Culp's, and then Kate can say what the thing is.
All right.
Okay, so I've pulled up Todd Culp's, which is under the committee to elect Culp, which means Kate has Jonathan's, which is Culp election committee. Okay, so ding, 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 right there. He's put the disclaimer on his thing. It doesn't matter what to me, he doesn't matter if he put the name on there. He is campaigning, and he is in big trouble because he's put his county election, he's put his county email on shit that he's putting his election disclaimer on. That's a problem.
Okay, so now how are their two names different, Kate? One says the committee to elect Culp.
So Kate's section number 1, if you see in section number 1 right here, my section number 1 says, hold on here. Let me do it like this. Let me do it like this.
See, this works out real handy because then you can just make really generic signs that apply to 3 people.
Well, and that's my whole big problem with this is you're confusing the voters, and that's not how this should be.
No, they're not confusing voters. They're just getting you to go in and vote on one last name.
Yeah, that's right.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
It is intentional, and we brought that up in 24, and Russ Willis was completely fine with it. So
okay, so in right here on the screen it says committee information. This is what the public should be looking at, the viewers. Full name of committee on statement of organization, committee to elect Culp. What's yours say?
The Culp election committee.
Culp election committee.
Jonathan. You've got Jonathan's.
Yep, and I've got Todd's.
Okay. Now, the question becomes, how much money did Todd have at the end of 24? Right? Because this is a 24. This would be at the end, correct?
I don't know if this is their end file.
It'll say it's stamped on there.
Type of report there. This one's a pre-election.
Yeah, so this would not be. This wouldn't be their end filing.
Nope. What's yours?
This one is from 4/13/2024 through 10/11/24. So this is, huh?
Okay, so how much did he have left?
Time frame.
How much did Jonathan have in his account?
$400 to start, and $400 to end.
So he had 400 to end at the end of October of 2024. Now, we all know the Republicans are going to win. I don't believe they did any fundraising after that. So I'll be interested to see what they filed in 25. So if he only had $400 in there, he would have either had to loan his campaign money, or I don't know if he's put this, because in the last,
or raise money. But in order to do that, he would have to see. That's the other thing that we're not saying here. So there are a lot of candidates in Delaware County that have been campaigning this year, which is wildly crazy,
Right.
because this year's an off year. They're campaigning for next year's election, but next year's election doesn't start until January. So the way that they're doing that, the way that they're able to spend money, raise money, and do all of that, is by filing what's called an exploratory committee. So tomorrow I'm going to check with the clerk's office to find out if Mr. Culp, if Jonathan, if the young boy has filed an exploratory committee. If he's not,
That's what
I
we're
think there's
supposed to
another
be
problem.
using right now.
Yeah.
Is exploratory committees, because until you file
Mm-hmm.
or make a public announcement you are running for office, you are not a candidate.
Yeah.
but I think the community gets to see, if you want transparency, if you want good candidates, pay attention to the details when we don't have elections. And this is what I'm talking about. This is like, I get the frustration. And you know what? This is something that Kelly Hewer should be addressing. This is something that the GOP, the election board, this is who should be addressing all this. But as you can see, the community does not feel comfortable enough to reach out to those individuals or to Rodney Cummings, because we have nowhere to turn. And
Yeah,
I will tell you, because of the fact that you and I and Kate and Brandon have brought this to light, they're going to do their best to bury this and make it go away, and like it's no big deal. And this is a big problem. It's a huge problem in Madison County. You know,
I think.
Go ahead.
Well, all right. Do we need Kate? You want us to put you down below, or you want to stay here?
You can put me down below. I'm perfectly happy.
You know, and like,
Oh, yeah.
and like Cindy said, are they inept or corrupt or both? I think, to be honest with you, Cindy, that Madison County is in such disarray that as long as you are part of the in crowd, you can run amok. But if you're not, that's when they're going to do everything in their power. They'll get the state police involved. They will do everything in the prosecutor's office to help protect any of their elected people that they can, as long as those elected people keep stroking whatever they need to keep them in power. And this is a big problem, Madison County. And you know, yes, we all know that the machines can be manipulated. We all know that ballots can be made up. But when we have a huge enough turnout at the polls, they can't cheat us. And that is where we are suffering at. Where we're suffering at, I mean, I do not like early voting at all, Kristopher. I think it gives them too much time. I feel like they run the numbers. I think they kind of know what they're doing, and they can manipulate things at the end. Now, that's
I used to be a big fan of it, but I'm not. I used to be a big fan of it, but I've become less and less.
Yeah, it's just getting so out of hand. And so that's just my thing. You know, when we put people in seats based on popularity contests, personality contests, I mean, and we're not voting with an educated vote, this is the outcome to that. And it's a big deal. I mean, somebody please tell me, in the past 11 months, what do you remember that Jonathan Culp has done on that council? Because I can't think of one thing.
I mean, he said some things and he's been a part of some conversations. None of them have been memorable. He's not taken a major leadership position. He's not done anything that's been great. He's said a couple things that have been like, ooh, that's weird. Like, I can't believe he's saying that, or I can't believe he's taking that stance. I mean, he said a couple things that have been like, ooh, but short of that, he's not done anything memorable. Like look, when I look at the Delaware County Council, I can tell you, and there's going to be people that don't like this, it is what it is. Since Ryan Webb has not been on the council, there's not been anybody that's done anything worth a damn, period. Now, I will tell you, remove Ryan Webb, the next person on there that's done anything that's been worth a damn, and I go back and forth. I like things that he does. I don't like things that he does. We battle. We're friends. Whatever, is Matt Kantz. Matt Kantz has been the next standout, and he's leaps and bounds below Ryan, questioning things and doing things that you would want a counselor to do. But at least I can tell you he's taken some stances on the council that I'm like, okay, out of everybody there and out of everybody I've heard so far, it makes sense he's running for commissioner. So, okay, have at it, whatever. But as far as Culp on the council, Culp has not done a damn thing that is memorable. He's not done a damn thing. He's not leading from the front. And yeah, that's a very good point that you bring up.
And this is what I want people to understand. So I'm going to bring this up to you, okay? We have a 7-member council. We have Bethany Keller, who is the only one that 95% of the time is worth anything. That's what we got. We got one elected official, okay? Now, Bethany Keller should be the one who should really be leading the charge on this, because she should be saying, hey, what is this that's being passed out? Because you're part of our council, right? Each one of them have the same amount of power. So that should be a question that I believe
say what you just said again. Say it again.
So because he's on the council and Bethany's the only one that's going to hold somebody accountable, she should be saying, hey, what are these flyers? Where are they going out? What are you campaigning for? What are you doing? He's an elected councilman, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of portrays all of them. Now, Let me explain something to you on this 7-member council, okay? On this 7-member council, you have 7 people, and then you have the auditor, who is the secretary to this council, okay? Jonathan Culp sits next to his mother-in-law, Jody Norick, okay? Jody Norick and Jonathan Culp are related by marriage. Jonathan is married to their only daughter. The secretary, Auditor Culp, Todd, is Jonathan Culp's father.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody understand the dynamics?
Sure.
So you've got that slice of the pie, okay? Then you've got Judge Scott Norick, who would be the father-in-law to Jonathan and the husband to Jody. And then you have the Noricks and the Culps related by marriage.
Yeah, it is wild. And this was a problem during the election we talked about.
Now that's the county. Then you have Jennifer Culp, who is the mother to Jonathan and the wife to Todd, who is the city councilwoman over at the city. And when they want to raise those public safety local income taxes, you understand that Anderson holds the majority power of that vote in order to tip the scales for them to be able to raise things like that. Now, I don't know about you, but common sense would tell you that people who get together for dinner often might talk about their political going-ons in their departments. So I just kind of want everybody to understand nepotism is very alive in Madison County.
Absolutely.
And so,
Hello.
it is what it is. I hope everybody,
I want to read this thing that Kate put in the group a minute ago. It says, must political messages concerning candidates for selection to fill a vacant office or ballot position at a party caucus include disclaimer? Yes, disclaimer law applies to caucuses. However, material must clearly identify candidate and expressly advocate the selection of the clearly identified candidate to fill an office or ballot vacancy, the defeat of such candidate. Not listing an office to get around. What's funny then here is he's not listing an office to get around all of this, but then he includes his disclaimer anyways. It's so crazy that he's done that. And it's just because, like, I think he's acting without thinking about it. And there you got to say, like, dude, you don't even have somebody that's good enough at being a bad guy. Like, I just really question all of this shit.
While you were doing your research and I was doing my research, I can guarantee you that this is already circulating your show tonight. I can guarantee you they're already formulating a plan to see how they can block, that he's done anything wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hope that people will file something with the election board. And here's the thing. Even if we lose at the election board, even if we lose at the state, it proves our point. I mean, I'm going to tell you something right now. I want people to apply for their election. I want you to fill out an election campaign to run for a seat. I want you to use your middle name. Absolutely. And I want you to sign your legal name. So for me, it's Katherin Veronica Callahan. I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply as Veronica Callahan, but I'm going to sign Katherin. And there better not be one person who tells me you're going to challenge my application to run. Not one person. Because you have laid a foundation. You allowed Rick Gardner to do it. You allowed Todd Culp to do it. The only way through this, people, is to force the hand.
Yeah. You
cannot pick and choose like this. And that is the only way through this. So the challenge is, don't feel defeated because you didn't win. You did win. You won to show how corrupt the system is. It's broken. The process is broken. And the only way to stop this from getting any worse is to now shove it in their face.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? Frankly, I wish I had a penny for every time I've heard somebody say, I don't like Katherin's delivery. I don't like Kristopher's delivery. Well, you know what? Guess what? Any of you can start a show. Any of you can post on social media, knock yourselves out. And then you can sit there and you can present the material any way you think is appropriate. I've been nice. I have challenged them with attorneys. I have challenged them in legal battles. And you know what? All I've done is expose just how corrupt it is. And you know what? I have to look at it, and that might just be the win that we're going to have to take right now until more get involved.
Sure.
These door knockers, I'm telling you right now, why it infuriates me. In 2020, when we ran for coroner, we put up signs. It said Troy Abbott, MD. Within 12 hours of those going up, do you know I got a call and I was told to remove every single sign that had MD on there, that we were not allowed to have those up there because you can't put one's title on there. So you mean to tell me you can't put one's education level? So now I'm going round and round with Russ Willis and all these guys, having them they're wanting us to take all these signs down. We've paid thousands of dollars for all this stuff, have to call the state, run around with our heads cut off. And then we have to show them Marion County does it. Every county does it. You can do it. It's legal. You just can't
do it on the ballot.
Absolutely. Well, I didn't know you at that time, right?
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm saying. Don't, I see Kelly Hewer and those guys are like, oh, if you want to run, contact us. Listen, those people are only going to try to talk you out of it. They've got their people they want. If somebody wants to run, have them reach out to me. Have at it. I'm excited that people are wanting to get involved. To me, give the people a choice. Do whatever you want. Some will say, well, you know what? If you have 3 people in that category, you're going to split all the votes all these different ways. Yes, there is some strategy to this. Absolutely. Right. But a race is a race. Have it.
Well, yeah.
So this is the problem with the Culp family. The Culp family, they are just, I mean this, I'm not meaning this in a derogatory way. They're just not bright people. Okay. And I think Todd Culp's nice. I mean, I don't have any problem.
Yeah, they're nice enough.
I think Jonathan's nice. I wouldn't say the same about Jennifer.
No, she's mean.
I think Jonathan and Todd are nice people. I can't say that their integrity is the best, but they're nice people. Great. But nice people have flaws too. And so, listen, they're the first to tell you they're Christians. They're the first to tell you all these words about how great they are, but yet they don't follow the 10 commandments. This is a problem. Don't sit here and preach this stuff to people in their face and then not follow the 10 commandments. So, I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. I do love thy neighbor, but I'm going to love them with the truth.
Well, I can love them not as elected officials too.
And
I would love them more if they weren't.
Right. And so, if you have these door knockers, if you have these things, I'm going to be interested to see what happens when people take them in. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was a business owner and I got like 60 of these, you know how much money that would cost me?
Here's the thing though. Did those business people give these out?
I don't know if they knew what they were signing up for. I don't know.
But that's nuts. If you can not know what you're signing up for, but if you gave 60 of them out, you know that you're giving them out. It might be questionable what you were giving them to, but if you give 60 of them to the Boy Scouts and 60 of them to the cats dying with rectal cancer over giving it to some a-hole politician, you're still giving 60 of them out.
Here's the thing. What if I gave you 10 of them? Okay. And then you copied them?
Well, that would be a problem, and that would be illegal. That would be theft. So that would be a big problem. And if there's somebody out there making that allegation, don't call us. Call the police, make a report, then call Katherin or I. Because if that's happened, that is a crime. It's just plain short. It's theft. I can't go create this thing on my thing and take it in. That would be theft. Period. So if someone's done that, file a police report. That would be a problem.
Yeah, and you don't know. People are so afraid to, cause any type of conflict or hold people accountable. And really, that's what I call it. I don't call it conflict. It's holding people accountable for their actions. It's uncomfortable. I get it. But you know what? This is why, and it's not just Madison County, this is why we are in the state of affairs that we are in. They would hold us accountable. So I don't understand why it's not okay to hold others accountable. Well, so it will be interesting to see how much more he canvasses, going door knocking. It'll be
interesting to see how many of these things he's listed down as in-kind donations from Texas Roadhouse, the tin plate, the gooey Christmas bar candy, whatever they're all called, all those names that you have over there. It would be interesting to see how much he's marked down for all of this, because he's in a world of hurt. I don't think he can dig out of this. I don't think he can dig himself out of the hole. He might not get in trouble for it, but he's where he's at.
But voters forget. That's the other thing. Voters just forget. People, if you're not registered to vote, get your family members registered to vote. You can do it on your phone. It takes 90 seconds. I mean, get people registered to vote. Make sure they go to the polls. Yeah. I'm really encouraging Madison County people to vote on election day. because we are watching true manipulation, and we have no election integrity in Madison County. Listen, the election board has been meeting every month for the past 11 months. Who knew?
So weird.
Who knew?
That's so weird.
So that's how crazy things are right now going on in Madison County. They're never going to tell us the truth. They're never going to welcome the community, and they're never going to be transparent. Heather Bailey's response is, we did the bare minimum. We put a sign outside our door, and that's all we have to do. If you think we're going to do anything more, well, you know what? At $60,000 for her job as a secretary, she doesn't have to do more.
Glenda, then do me a favor. Continue to keep coming back and telling me that. I will remember this. Mark this down right now. It's down at the bottom of the screen. Write down, screenshot it, do whatever. www.indianavoters with an S at the end.com. It's www.indianavoters.com and walk her through it. It takes 3 minutes. She needs to have her driver's license with her, take it out of her little wallet or whatever, sit down with her phone, her laptop, her tablet, desktop, whatever, and go to that link, register her to vote wherever she lives, and get her ass registered. And then tell her to register and get her informed. And don't be like other kids. Get her educated, get her interested, and have her vote in May. She's got to go vote in May, and she's got to vote in November. And tell her to get educated, help her get educated.
And this is the other thing I want to tell you, Glenda. If she is graduating this year, the kids at college have the right to vote. They can get an absentee ballot.
Oh, absolutely.
They can come back and vote, or college students are unique. They can vote in the area in which they reside in for college. But my girls both get absentee ballots because they are not home. They get those mailed to them. They fill them out and they send them back. And I want everybody to know, I will tell you if I've done nothing in my life, because people tell me I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to say this out loud because I have no shame.
No, it's important to know. It's good to know.
Right? No, I have no shame. And I'm going to say this. I have been involved in politics for 5 years. That's it. I have voted and registered to vote in 2020 because I got involved with a campaign. Now, while some of you may be like, what do you mean? Right? I'm a military brat. My dad died when I was 9. Politics is not something we talked about in our home. My brother is a retired colonel, and he used to say to me when I'd see him every once in a while, because he was deployed a lot, he was a special ops guy, and all he would say to me is, if you're not registered to vote, you can't bitch. But the other thing is, because he was in the military, he answered to whatever president was in position. So we didn't talk politics in our home ever. My mom's from Japan. Okay. So they have a different system over there. So, now that I'm involved, but my girls, I will tell you this, they will sit down and literally go through every single person's campaign page that's on the ballot. And then do you know what they do? They go to my case and they look in my case and they look up every individual that is on the ballot. And for instance, they were saying, they're like, Mom, now, they live differently than where I live. They said, Mom, we went and saw you were looking up all this stuff on my case. We see what you post. My girls do not post on social media. That's just not something they do. They're very private about all of that. They don't even want people to know we're related for the most part, because
I understand why.
Yeah, right. But it's because it makes them so angry that people have a problem with the truth, right? And have uncomfortable conversations.
That's what they tell you.
And so, as we look through all of this, I am glad that they understand how to use my case. I am glad that they understand to research and not blindly vote. Listen, they have even called me after they've looked through candidates and they're like, there's no good candidates, Mom. What do we do? I said, then don't mark it. Just leave it blank. That's the reality of it. And so those are the kind of things that, I want people to understand, that your college students, their vote still matters. Their vote still counts. They can come in and they can, if they want, we have open voting here in Madison County. So they'll vote 2 weeks before. If they're coming in on a weekend, they could go to the polls at the weekend and do that. But it is what it is. If you're like Nicole, she doesn't even know she was deployed and somebody voted for her. She had no idea. She wasn't even in the country when that all took place. But it is what it is. So I understand the importance now, and I guess I'm making up for lost time is what I'm doing. Kristopher, Teresa Smock has joined late. Can you just pop up those coupon cards real quick so she can see that what the question here is? What are we looking at? Jonathan Culp's been out knocking on doors. We're not sure who's paid for this stuff, but he's passing out free food vouchers if you buy something at that facility. So we're just questioning, can you do that? Is it ethical? Now, Teresa's been around a long time.
Now, wait a minute. I'm shocked that is what you bought. You told her in your little elevator pitch. That is the least concern of this. That is nuts. That we've been on this show for 2 hours and you still don't know what the most important part of this is. That kills me. That is a concern. We are questioning whether it's legal or illegal to buy voters, or if he's buying voters, if it's a gray area.
Can you use your government address? I'm not reading.
Yeah,
What's Alva think? Alva, what do you think of this? Stumblefoot told us what he thinks.
But there's more important issues. First of all, he's campaigning and using his county email, which is definitely illegal. He's not marked what he's campaigning for. He uses his disclaimer on there. It's just very questionable shit that he's done. He's been out campaigning for office while he's currently just 11 months into his first term as an elected official. There's just a lot of crazy shit that he's done, and there's lots of crazy stuff. Here's what is out. He's been out campaigning on again, off again, basically since July for another office. And we're being told he's running for commissioner, even though we're currently just in his 11th month of his first term as county councilor, which is just totally insane. So here's what he's been putting on people's doors. Here's what it looks like.
I probably missed that, Alva, because I was searching for those campaign reports. The other thing is they've got two different names between him and his dad. What was it? The committee to...
Well, they would have two different names.
I know, but they're very similar.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
But elect Culp, or the Culp committee or something like that.
But imagine if you're John Doe and John Doe Jr. and you're both politicians and your committee is the committee to elect John Doe and the committee to elect John Doe Jr. That's okay that they're similar. The question was that something they were both using, or was it a pack or whatever? That was the question. It's fine that they've got two similar things.
But think about that. When you put your banner up and you have it just elect Culp, did both committees pay for that?
Now, to me, I just think that's smart. I mean, that's smart. Look, there's nothing wrong with being smart.
It's cost effective.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with it. The problem becomes when the paper puts that Todd is running for the county council when it's really Jonathan,
but
and nobody
makes
it.
Right.
That's a problem.
But that's
and
the
that
paper
happened.
Again. I know, but that you can't. That's just a happy accident that they gotta. The fact that the paper's stupid, or maybe they did it on purpose.
Yeah,
I don't know why they. I mean, that doesn't serve the paper in any way. I just think they're stupid.
Well, sure
the paper's as dumb as everybody else.
No, because the paper gets to keep the people they want in power. That's what they you want to keep that family in power.
I don't think the paper cares one way or another.
Oh, I think
the paper's
they do.
just doing their dumb shit. They
Really?
do.
You think the paper, who would the paper rather have, the Culps or me?
Well,
yeah. So right
yeah,
there, so
not the Culps. You weren't running against the Culps. You were running against one person.
Todd. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Todd. But yeah, so it's crazy. Well, do you have any like a? I will. Listen. Real quick. I do want to say I'm very proud of you. After the first 15 minutes of insanity, you did do a great job. This is probably one of the smoothest shows you've done since the first 3. I will give you did a very good job.
It just depends on what gets me excitable here, and this one wasn't that very exciting.
You did a very good job. Well, that's what we need. It's easier for people to chew. Yep.
I like excitement.
Yep, that's great. But this you did a very good job. So I want to tell you.
We will see how this turns out. I hope that you will give us updates on how this turns out.
Yeah.
I think this will be interesting to watch. But Madison County viewers, if you're watching, somebody needs to lead the charge on filing a complaint against this to figure out how they're going to handle the situation. Will they just dismiss us like they normally do? Will they take it a step further? I don't know.
Stubblefoot. Yeah.
You know what, Stubblefoot? I'm always going to be a 10.
That might be a 10 on ADD. All right. Well, Katherin, we'll have you back on. I'll let you know once we hear from the clerk's office, once I know what's going on here.
Okay. Now, everybody, I want you to, before we leave, I want you to understand next week is the second Tuesday of the month. There is
hold on. Teresa, I hate to hear that. I hope you're doing well. And I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. I definitely hate to hear that. And I hope you're on the mend. Go ahead.
Yes. There will be no county council meeting. They have moved that to the following Tuesday. I believe that's the 18th. That will be the last council meeting of the year.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Remember, all you taxpayers, all of us, pay them a bonus check for December with benefits. So I just want to let you know that will come to an end because we don't have any spending that goes on in Madison County in December. So that's a big problem. We need to start electing people who want to work 12 months a year and not work 11 months a year. So I will see you guys then on November 18th at 6 o'clock. It is open and free to the public. I hope more people will come out and pay attention and be involved with what's going on. And then that same day will be a commissioner meeting at 10 a.m. So that's going to be a double whammy on that day. You might feel like you're spending the whole day up at the courthouse.
Yeah.
So just kind of want to let you guys know that. And for anybody who's watching from Lapel, on November 20th, there will be a town meeting at 7 o'clock at the Lions Club. And there they are going to increase your water rates. So please come out and speak. You can be really excited that you're going to get an increase on your rates for brown water. So you are the lucky ones. I'm about ready to have a stroke over it. I was already yelling last meeting about this last month. I posted it last month, but I want to let you know these are two. And you know what I really hate about all of this? And I shouldn't use the word hate because I really don't hate anything. That's a terrible word.
Oh, God.
What I dislike is that we're running these meetings the week before Thanksgiving. I mean,
what's wrong with that?
Well, they could have had them this coming week.
Yeah, I don't understand. Normally they try to do everything they can to get out of that, and they try to make it as early as possible. So I don't know why that's weird they're doing that.
Yeah, it's just too tight. I mean, and here's the thing. You really got to do the water rate increase right before the holidays when people need, are thinking about buying gifts. And now we've had a government shutdown and we got all kinds of other issues. That's a big problem too. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I don't know what's going on over in Delaware County, but if you're looking to be involved, now you know. And here, Union City keeps raising our water bill. It's getting ridiculous. I'm telling you, people cannot afford to live with all of the utilities that are going up. It's craziness. And then to get poor service or poor water quality in return is even nuttier.
Yeah, that's nuts. It's crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Katherin. We'll have you back here directly. Thank you for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us tonight. It's been an exciting Sunday night episode. We will be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. I God willing, foresee a full week of shows. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to get to this week. I have an interesting topic that we'll probably be talking about tomorrow that will not be local political. It won't. It'll have a little political topic to it, but won't be political in the way that we've been doing. So tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, we should be talking about a big Second Amendment issue. We're going to be talking about, I'll just give you a throw out. There was the extremely unfortunate situation back at the end of last week where there was a woman who was part of a cleaning crew and she was shot on the porch in Indiana, and there's a big hubbub about it. It's making a lot of political talk. It's making the news stations everywhere, all around the world. People are talking about this. This is going to be a real big Second Amendment situation. People are talking about gun rights and all this. And my very near and dear friend, Guy Relford, a Second Amendment rights lawyer, is apparently going to be representing the folks that were inside the house, apparently the folks that pulled the trigger. And he's somebody that I trust and respect highly, and somebody that I've known for quite some time, and feel that if he's representing them, there's a lot to be said about that. So we're going to be talking about that. If you're interested in things like that, you might tune in. If you've been hearing about this, you might tune in. Whether you have heard about it or not, tune in. It's going to be a good show tomorrow, so we will see you then. Take care. We'll be back here for episode 555 tomorrow, Monday. That'll be November 10th. Happy birthday, Marines, tomorrow. The Marine birthday. Kate just flipped me the bird. And then Tuesday is Veterans Day, and of course we'll be talking about that. So you guys take care. God bless. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.